Hello and welcome. Yes, welcome to class 786. All right. And our Bible, English grammar. This weighs a lot. It's really heavy. This is the best grammar book in the world, as a reference book, okay? I'm going to do today the past perfect. El pasado perfecto, el pluscuamperfecto, se dice en español. Strange word, pluscuam. Why? Well, ¿de qué viene la palabra pluscuamperfecto? I don't know. Okay, pretérito perfecto, I understand, but pluscuam? All right, that's an interesting word. But the past perfect in English, okay. I'll start with the present perfect. I have lived in 34 different houses, or apartments or flats. I've lived in 34 different apartments or flats. That's the present perfect. Now, by the time I was five, I had already lived in 1, 2, 3 houses. By the time I was 5. The first 2 years, those first 2.5 years of my life, I lived on Weisach Street in Houston. Then we moved to New York City, to Queens. Then we moved back to Greenock Street in Houston, and then we moved to Cloverdale. So by the time, really 4, by the time I turned 5, by the time I turned 5, I had already lived in 4 houses. All right, in 4 houses. Now, by the time I came to Spain, I had already lived, I think in 2, 4, 6, 7. By the time I came to Spain, I had already lived in 8 houses, 8 different houses, flats, or apartments, or dorm rooms. A dorm room is habitación de residencia estudiantil. So I'd already lived in 8 different places. Now, by the time I started teaching English, I had already lived in maybe 20 different houses, 15 different houses. I don't know. I've moved around a lot. Yes. Now, until I finished, until I was 6. No, until I was 9 years old, 10 years old, 11. Until I was 11 years old, I had never spoken Spanish. From birth to age 11, I knew only 2 words in Spanish, fiesta and siesta. Yes. And I knew ándale. I knew ándale. The Mexicans, ándale, ándale. Okay. I knew that. But I didn't know it. In fact, I didn't even know my name in Spanish. My name in Spanish is Ricardo. I didn't know that until I was 12. So until I was 12, I had never studied Spanish. Now, by the time I turned 18, 6 years later, I had already completed 6 years of Spanish in school with 30 students, but school Spanish. So by the time I went to the university, by the time I went to the university, I had already accumulated 6 years of Spanish. Theoretical Spanish, not practical Spanish. All right. Now, by the time I came to Spain, I had already received, again, only 6 years of Spanish when I came to Spain. All right. Now, by the time I started teaching English, I had already learned the language well. I started teaching English in 1974. However, I came to Spain as a student in 1972-73, the academic year 72-73. But I didn't teach English. Then. I went back in the summer of 1973 to Austin, Texas, the capital, and there I completed my higher education. que no significa educación más alta, significa la enseñanza o educación superior. I completed my higher education in Austin in the academic year 73-74, and then I came back to Spain in the summer of 74. And up to that time, I had never taught English, except once, to an Argentine boy in Tulsa, Oklahoma for a few months. All right. I had never taught English. And I started teaching in August 1974. But up to that time, I had never, no había nunca enseñado. I had never taught English. Now, by the time I turned 30, by the time I reached the age of 30, by the time I turned 30, by the time, ¿para cuándo? By the time I reached the age of 30, I had already been teaching past perfect continuous. Ya llevaba X años enseñando. Ya había estado enseñando X años, se dice en inglés. By the time I turned 30, I had already been teaching for 8 years. 8 years times 10 months, 80 months. 80 months, 160. Whew. I had already taught 8,000 hours or 9,000 hours. I had already taught English for 9,000 hours. Now, the first time I set foot in a radio studio, I was 51 years old. The first time I set foot, sí, poner pie en un sitio. Primero que puse pie en un locutorio radiofónico. The first time I set foot in a radio studio, I was 51 years old. Before that, I had never visited a radio in my life. I had never visited. Nunca estar si la dicha es buena. I had never visited. And the first time I entered a television studio in my life, I was 53. Before that, I had never sat down in front of a camera and in front of the lights. I had never done that. Yes, I had never been in a television studio. Yes, I got married when I was 26. By the time I got married, I had already been teaching. I got married at the end of 1977. I started teaching in 1974. Half of 74, 75, 76, all of 77. When I got married, I had already been teaching English for 3.5 years when I got married. I got married in late December 1977, and I started teaching in August 1974. So by the time I got married, I had already been teaching. For almost 3.5 years. All right. That's the past past perfect. Nunca he ido a la playa, nunca he ido a Indonesia. Oye, ¿no me dijiste el otro día que no había sido nunca? Ahora dice que sí. Didn't you tell me the other day you had never been to Indonesia? Yes, I did. I told you I had never been to Indonesia, but I was wrong. Now I remember. I was there 5 years ago, and I completely forgot. But you also told me that you had never been to Marrakesh in Morocco. And now you say you have. Me dijiste, hace tiempo que nunca habías estado ahí. Ahora dice que sí. Escucha. You told me, I don't remember, but you told me that you had never been to Marrakesh. And now you say you have? Ahora dice que sí. Fíjate como en español, ahora dice que sí has estado. Pero usamos el verbo auxiliar have, que have been. And now you tell me you have? You told me you hadn't. Now you say you have. You told me you hadn't. You had been to America, now you say you have. Yeah. And you told me you had never run over a dog. And now You told me you had never run over a dog, and now you tell me you have. So that's the past perfect. All right, let's go on with our expressions. Expressions in English. I love this book. All right, page 28. Page 28 at the top. Expression number 89. To be out for the count. He's out for the count. He's out for the count means se ha quedado cao. He's out for the count. You know, if we're boxing, you know, and bam, I hit you, boom. I knock you down. I knock you down. And you don't get up after the referees counts to 10, it's a knockout. Un cao. Knock out. Knock es con una K muda al principio. Claro, out, knock out, K-O. Un cao. De ahí viene la expresión aquí. Me quedé cao. Se dice cow. Cow no es una vaca. Cow is una vaca, a cow, a milk cow. But a K-O, K-K-O, diciendo las letras, K-O es un cow de boxeo. Yes. And so it's a knockout. It's a knockout. It's a knockout. Now, to be out for the count means se quedó cow. Estaba fuera durante todo el recuento. 1, 2, 3, 4. He was out for the count. Yes. Yes. Después de 2 copas de vino me quedé cao. After 2 glasses of wine, me quedo cao después de 2. After 2 glasses of wine, I'm out for the count. Only 2? Only 2 glasses of wine. I remember one girl in the university in Dallas with 1 glass of wine. She transformed. Yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Just 1. Yes. I remember it was a blind, this is true, eh? This is true. It was a blind date. A blind date. Date es una cita. Además de fecha, date es una cita para salir. Blind es ciegos, claro, citas ciegas. It was a blind date. And I was driving in my car and I picked her up. Oh, she was nice, attractive. But she was very quiet. She didn't speak. And we went to a party. I knew the people in the party. For me, I knew everybody at the party, but she didn't know anybody. She was very quiet and very reserved. And I said, would you like a beer? Wine, no. In this case, wine, no. Beer. Would you like a beer? Yes. And so I got 2 beers, 1 for myself, 1 for her. After 1 beer, she was transformed. She was trepando encima. She was climbing. It was just incredible. 1 beer. All right. So be careful with alcohol. For me, if I drink 2 glasses of wine or 2 beers, no problem. No problem. But don't drive. It's dangerous to drive with 2 glasses of wine or 1 beer because you feel in control of the world. You know, you're not drunk. No, you're not drunk. You're a little high, just a little. Se dice high, pero un poco de. And so you drive too aggressively. And that's the most dangerous part. You drive too aggressively. All right, he's out for the count, out for the count. Now, a knockout es un cao. Se queda en la lona, on the canvas. Now, a technical knockout, TKO, is when the referee stops the bout, stops the match. It's technical. It's a technical knockout. Now, if I say she's a knockout, ella es un cao, o sea, ella me deja cao. I look at her, wow, she's a knockout. It means, wow, incredible. She's a knockout. Out for the count, number 80, to be out of your mind. ¿Estás loco? Okay. Are you out of your mind? Esto se dice muchísimo. Muchísimo en inglés. Are you crazy? Are you mad? Are you out? Se dice incluso más. Out of your mind? Que mad. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? ¿Estás fuera de tu mente? Literalmente. Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your mind? You're crazy. My God. What do you mean? Are you out of your mind? Debes de estar loco si piensas que ella va a decir que sí. You must be out of your mind if you think she's going to say yes. You must be out of your mind if you think she's going to say yes. Out of your mind. I'm out of my mind. Pero nunca se dice, I'm out of my mind. Sí se dice, I must be out of my mind. Debo de estar loco. Plantear esta posibilidad. I must be out of my mind. Now, when we speak about ourselves, we're crazy or mad. When we speak about others, you must be out of your mind. You're out of your mind. You're crazy. Out of your mind. To be pressed for time. Aquí dice también pushed for time, pero yo nunca digo. Tengo prisa. I'm pressed for time. Estoy presionado por el tiempo. I'm pressed. Presed, escrito. I'm pressed for time. Hurry up, Marta. We need to finish. Put on the makeup. I'm pressed for time. I'm pressed for time. De hecho, se dice tanto. I'm pressed for time. Que no pronunciamos pressed. Decimos press. I'm pressed for time. El interlocutor entiende pressed. I'm pressed for time. Pressed for time. Yes, I'm in a hurry. I'm in a rush. I'm pressed for time. All right. And finally, to be quaking in your boots. To be quaking in your boots. Quaking. Earthquake. An earthquake is un terremoto. Quake. Now, to be quaking in your boots. Tienes terremoto dentro de las botas que tienes puesto. Means estás muy preocupado, casi con miedo. Temblando de miedo. Dice aquí, temblar las piernas de miedo. Temblar como un flan. Okay. She's quaking in her boots. She's afraid because I'm angry. After this program, Marta, all right. She's quaking in her boots. Quaking, which is not true. Quaking, quake, como earthquake. Quaking in her boots. I don't use that expression very often, but it doesn't matter. It's used. Quaking in your boots. All right. Are you ready for more? Translation booklet, list number 30. Wow. List number 30. Page 318. Pero esto empieza antes. It's a story, I think. Este soldado lleva 2 días muerto. This soldier has been dead for 2 days. Debe de haber muerto antes de ayer. He must have died 2 days ago. So, this soldier, soldadito, this soldier has been dead for 2 days. Debe de haber muerto antes de ayer. He must have died. He must have died 2 days ago. ¿Cómo sabes que está muerto? How do you know? How do you know he's dead? How do you know he's dead? No está respirando. He's not breathing. Marta se ríe. Pobre soldado. He's not breathing. He's not breathing. Ha muerto por una explosión. He was killed by an explosion. He was killed. Fue matado literalmente. He was killed by an explosion. Debió de ser una explosión fuerte. It must have been a strong explosion or a big explosion. A powerful, dice potente. It must have been a powerful explosion. Ay, tengo que dar de comer a mucha gente. I have to feed a lot of people. Se dice en inglés, I have to support. Tengo que mantener a mucha gente. Dar de comer. Dar de comer es alimentar, feed. You know, you go to the zoo and it says, don't feed the animals. No des de comer a los animales en el zoo. Don't feed the animals. Feed. F-E-E-D. Feed. Feed means alimentar o dar de comer. To feed. Don't feed the dog from the table. Yes. to feed. Yes. As a noun, como sustantivo, feed means piensos. Piensos como piensos compuestos para animales. Animales, no alemanes, no, para animales. Maybe for Germans too, I don't know. But in any case, tengo que dar de comer a mucha gente. I have to feed a lot of people. Mantengo a mi familia. I support my family. Ojo, look out, look out, look out, look out, watch out. Two ways, look out or watch out. If the ceiling starts falling, I tell Marta, look out, Marta, look out. Look out is an exclamation of be careful. Be careful. Be careful with toxic people. Gente tóxica. Be careful with toxic people. But not look out. Look out is in golf, when they hit the ball, if there's a person say 4, como la palabra 4, 4, that means look out, watch out, because the golf ball is coming in your direction. Yes. I remember when I was 14, I think I was 14, I was playing in a golf tournament, and there was a hole that was about 300 yards. It was a short par 4. And there were 4 people on the green. And I was on the tee. And I looked and I was talking to other people. I said, they're still on the green. But it's 300 yards. 300 metros. It's impossible for me. And I hit a beautiful drive and it went to the green. The people were on the green because I hit the ball to the green in 300 yards. It's a very long drive. So, look out, look out. No te preocupes, tendré cuidado. Don't worry, I'll be careful. Don't worry, I'll be careful. I'm always careful. Really, Richard, are you a careful driver? Yes, I'm a careful driver. I had a few small traffic accidents that were my fault between the age of 15 and 20. After that, no. After that, no, only one. Only one. Now, I had a big traffic accident, but it wasn't my fault. But I wasn't injured. I was 17 at that time, but I wasn't injured. A man ran a red light. A man ran a red light. Un hombre saltó un disco en rojo. Una luz roja. A man ran. To run a light means saltar un disco, un semáforo. To run, so the man ran a red light and boom, hit the side of my car. Thank God there was no passenger. I was alone in the car. I was working in a warehouse, un almacén, embalando radiadores. I was boxing radiators. And it was lunchtime, and we only have 30 minutes for lunch. I got my car, zoom, started driving to Sandy's Hamburgers. And in one of the intersections, the light changed to green, and I started, and a man was coming, and he didn't notice the light had changed. Boom. I lost my car, destroyed it completely. Yeah, completely. I had to buy a new car. Well, the insurance company paid for the car. But in any case, but that's the only big accident I've had. No te preocupes, tendré cuidado. Don't worry, I'll be careful. No lo hagas. No lo hagas si no quieres. No lo hagas. Don't do it. Do it. Don't do it si no quieres, if you don't want to. Yeah. If you don't want to. Don't do it if you don't want to. Don't do it if you don't want. Es incorrecto. Hay que añadir el tú. Many years ago, in Madrid, there was a slogan in the community of Madrid, yes, we want. Pusieron el slogan en inglés, yes, we want. Copiando a Barack Obama con yes, we can. And they published it everywhere. para los colegios bilingües, for the bilingual schools. He said, yes, we want. It's incorrect English. It was a mistake. I can't believe they didn't ask a native English speaker. We're going to publish this slogan everywhere. Is it correct? It was a mistake. Yes, we want choca. It's incorrect. Yes, we want to. I want to. Enseño porque quiero. I teach because I want to. Estoy aquí porque quiero. I'm here because I want to. Lo hago porque quiero. I do it because I want to. Claro, lo hago porque quiero hacerlo. I do it because I want to do it. I teach because I want to teach. Y cortamos después del tú. El tú se queda colgado ahí. I teach because I want to. Enseño porque me gusta. I teach because I like to. Enseño porque no tengo más remedio. I teach because I have to. Enseño porque necesito enseñar. I teach because I need to. All right. I'll be back tomorrow.